How about this for a solution to Twitter's CEO problem? MrBeast just runs Twitter. Apparently, this was suggested by MrBeast himself that he could be the next CEO. MrBeast is asking questions. Elon Musk promised that he'd resign as CEO. Well, that's what we just talked about. And then MrBeast obviously reads this. And on December 22nd, 2022, he says, "Can I just be the new Twitter CEO?" Real casual with it.
Yeah, it's like a student that's like, volunteering
and then
in class.
Elon replies saying, "It's not out of the question," which doesn't really say much either. But from him, I think that's meaningful. I think MrBeast would run into a similar fate. In that here you have a really popular personality that people like for doing a certain thing. And obviously the day-to-day operations of a Twitter, very polarizing as suggested. You're going to piss somebody off and it's going to skew how they view the other things that you do. Possibly.
Maybe, I was thinking maybe, it could be like a late night show where they would have different hosts.
Oh
Maybe
my
they
God.
could have different people running Twitter.
Oh, like
the business would go nowhere.
You're talking about a rotating CEO.
Yeah,
I bet you it's been done. I promise you it's been done. They probably take the executive team and each gets a crack for a certain, maybe not for a month, but
Like each CEO gets like a president gets to serve a term.
you
Like
could
that's
do
what's-
it. I mean, you could do it, but it's hard to
And
tell
then the people can vote.
constantly.
Yeah.
It's always an
It would be
election.
a Twitter poll.
It's always an election, like a government. You run Twitter like a government.
Yeah.
That's not a good idea. That is not a good idea. I'm gonna say that right now.
Well, so are you suggesting that the market knows better than governments?
I'm suggesting like when you're running a business, you can have a long-term
Are
plan.
you suggesting are you suggesting the free market is more efficient
Exactly.
than government?
Yeah.
Ooh, we just figured something out about Warren Buffett over here. Let's see what happens when Twitter offers good video with higher compensation for creators. This is dating back to a previous conversation Elon had with MrBeast where there was talks of changes he could make at Twitter to make it more attractive to creators. And MrBeast replied, "Higher compensation will be hard. Some YouTubers get $20 plus RPMs even after YouTube takes their cut. I'd be shocked if you crack that code." Yeah, it's quite a code to crack. YouTube has such a head start in terms of their ad business, and it will be very, very difficult for anyone to really compete with that. I mean, obviously, we've seen the kind of comedic numbers coming out of TikTok. It's like $2 for 7 million views or something, and it's just like, whoa. That's not sustainable. Even after it's becoming relatively mature. Twitter's mature too, been around for a really long time.
Sure.
And you may think, well, why isn't there some of this already happening in terms of revenue share? And MrBeast knows YouTube as much as anyone else. So if he's saying it's a tough code to crack, you got to take the message via the messenger in that case, that he probably knows what's going on. But maybe that's why. Maybe it's actually that conversation that makes him a decent candidate for CEO of Twitter, if you think about it.
Interesting.
Because he could lure talent onto the platform because he would know exactly what creators would want. And then ultimately, the places people are on the internet is where content is being created the most. Like you and I just suggested, what's the first one we boot up is YouTube. Okay, why? Because those creators are incentivized to keep publishing stuff there, which keeps having this algorithm figure out what you want to watch and so on and so forth. It's this constant input-output method. So if anybody knows about that system, he's a guy who knows about it. But granted, I still have no idea the sincerity of the suggestion.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you see videos playing on Twitter like in a fluid fashion?
Yeah, so I mean, Twitter can do what it wants, but certainly on the non-chronological timeline, you're having more video results surface as you scroll, for sure. I mean, a lot of it is just meme content, like a gorilla banging against a glass or whatever it might be, but they could enhance that. They can go after that if they really wanted to, like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, or Reels or something. It really depends on their agenda. And one thing I would like to see is options for users. They've already kind of done that. You can do the timeline in chronological. You can have it be algorithmic. Like, imagine everyone's fine tuning their algorithms in the future. That's really what we're doing. We're just training them and then tweaking them. You know, like you
already kind of do that. I do it.
Well, you kind of do it by what you watch, but imagine it was even more granular, like you were tuning an automobile or something.
Like in the settings, like you're adjusting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even if it came to things like UI, like the way you want the app to look, because they played around with that with Twitter Blue at first, where they like changed the icon color. But it's like, what if that went even deeper? What if you completely changed the layout of the social media app, so it had just the elements you wanted in it? What if you could do that with YouTube or Twitter or Facebook? Or, I mean, it'd be fantastic. I mean, you can to a little extent, but not a big one.
Right, yeah.